we'll have a race to 7 frames here, and it will be no match clock and 45 seconds on the shot clock. It does change things. It does change the dynamic of the match. And one of the things also to note is that we have a very injured Jake McCartney playing out there as well. You will notice, you can't quite see it there, but he is sat there in some very funky looking trainers. There you can just see it. You may remember here on Ultimate Pool TV that he was limping around in a moon boot for about a year, having damaged the ligaments in his ankle, and that has flared up unfortunately for him, and he's in a pretty bad way. In between matches he is just in his room and just trying to ice it and do the right things, and there's a real chance that he could have to go back under the knife and have another operation, which is really sad news on the back of a really good win at the Pro Series. So hopefully Jake recovers and it's just a little bit of rest and he's right and ready to go, but he'll do what he can in this match. Well, he is very much injured player, but it is Declan Brennan who has the first opportunity, and delighted to say I'm joined by they're a very funky pair of Chinese trainers, Tony Holgate. I think they'd suit you, wouldn't they?
I'm not sure about that. They're not loud enough. No, that's very disappointing for Jake McCartney to have that rear its ugly head again, especially in the middle of the World Championships and the Masters. Even at full strength, Declan Brennan will pose a massive problem for anybody trying to win this title.
Brilliant title he won last year. I thought it was a really important one for him as well. We talked about Declan. He's been, since he made the transition from snooker to pool, he kind of made his name for himself very quickly, and when he won the Pro Series title back in 2021, the first ever Pro Series title, people were talking about him in terms of, is he the best player in the world right now? That sort of level, that's where he was, and the form started to dip, or the results started to dip after that, and the form then started to follow. And he had a year and a half in the doldrums, really, where he really struggled, but he is absolutely back, and I think the WEPF World Masters was a huge part of that. He's also doing things very differently in life. He's very happy, very settled, completely changed his mindset on a number of different things, and he's a completely, the level of game he's playing at, it's absolutely one of the players that could look at what Tom's doing and think, yeah, I could be one of the players to try and force myself to that position. I mean, obviously everyone's a long way behind Tom right now, but he is one of those players. There's probably about 10 to 12 of them that can look at what Tom's doing and think, okay, right, let's get on it and let's chase him down. And Declan is one of those. I rate him that highly.
Yeah, he's been so impressive this season. You just a couple of pro events ago, just kind of saw a little change. He had been a little bit flat for me last year, maybe. But then that Champions League, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
semi-final, final was, that was colossal.
Yeah, and he's winning 6 red shootouts, which is, he was losing. I think he lost 11 of his first 12 6 red shootouts. I mean, the level of his game to be in that many was quite incredible. Because you feel he's never really out of that many matches, but that's a good shot from Jake, it really is. But this year alone, since winning the WEPF World Masters, he'd have been disappointed not to go deeper in the World Championships last year in Morocco, lost in the quarterfinals, but since then he's come back. He's made 3 finals this year with Ultimate Pool. He's only won 1 of them, which will be disappointing for him, but 3 finals and 1 title is a great return.
Just his mindsets look different.
Yeah. The disappointing thing for anyone that's trying to chase down Tom Cousins is that, undoubtedly, 3 finals and 1 title is a brilliant season. If that's the footing, we're only halfway through the year, but that's a brilliant season. Tom Cousins already has 3 titles to his name, so this is the issue that they all have. It's tough. He's relentless, and he's already looking good again here. The World Championships. Tom Cousins he's in the last 16 of the Masters being played right now, which is the round we're on right here. It's got Jasper Simmons. He's into the last 16 of the World Championships as well, where he has Rob Warren. That will be on Tuesday. Interestingly, actually, just referencing the Tom Cousins-Jasper Simmons match, if you are interested in that one, it is currently being shown on Ultimate Pool TikTok, which new element for you there. Go and watch a bit of Tom on the outer arena.
So he's already got 1-0 up.
Yeah, Jasper's a good player. England under-23 international, so certainly no pushover that for Tom, but I mean Tom's the favourite for every match he goes into, quite rightly. There are some other huge matches here in the Masters. The open draw makes it fascinating. Tom Cousins has Jasper Simmons. Jordan Shepard already 2-0 up over Avtar Singh. Govey Gill 1-0 down to Greg Batten. And then a match I really like the look of, Rob McCulloch, who is 1-0 down to Rona McCarthy. Rab was fantastic last night, being Dom Cooney. And John McAllister 3-0 up over Wayne Gore already. Will Osborne 1-0 up over Zach Shepard in the all-Welsh encounter. And Sean Sharkey, who's been flying this week, he is 1-0 up over Carl Sutton. Great lineup. Although, saying Rab's been going well, he has just lost in the world singles, which will disappoint him. 8-2 to Josh Traynor, which is one that will hurt. He would have gone into that match with really high hopes. He would have been favourite, no doubt about it. Josh Traynor, very good England under-23 international. But Rab would have expected the way he's playing to win that match.
Well, Declan Brennan just tidying up the end of this first frame.
Yeah, job done there for Deck. Jake played a really good shot to have a chance to win that frame and then missed the next one. He didn't miss much in the Pro Series final, I can tell you. Jake played excellently. It was Declan that made the 2 or 3 errors in the match, and that was the difference between winning and losing. The Women's Masters has reached the second half of the quarterfinals. We already knew that Harriet Haynes was through, and she'll play Emma Cunningham, who we saw beat Melanie Riches. And the other side of the draw, Jane Mitchell, who's already knocked out the 5 times world champion Amy Beecham, is 1-0 up over Claire Hendrickson. Marion Jude, the world champion, is 1-0 up over Chucky Preston. Timing dependent, we will be seeing the winners of those 2 matches in our next match, but as you can see, they are only at 1-0 and we're 1-0 here, so just timing dependent. So the way it is at the World Championships, we will do what we can to show you as much as we can.
Lot to squeeze in.
There is a lot to squeeze in. And at Nature of the Beast as well, all the tournaments finish apart from the Masters, which finishes on the middle weekend, all the other tournaments finish at the same time. It makes it very difficult to show you as much as we would like to. But we will do what we can.
It's just an amazing amount of pool, and what a show we got tomorrow. Well, 2 shows.
Tomorrow is really looking forward to. The Women's World Team Shootout was special. The men's, I just think, will be off the charts. I think right in the middle of the championships, it is absolutely fantastic. And the nice thing for all the players, they don't have to worry about schedule clashes or anything like that. Everything in the men's section parks itself for tomorrow. It's all about the World Team Shootout.
There's some incredible prelim matches as well on Friday, wasn't it, to qualify themselves into the...
Well, you had all the fun.
I did actually, yeah.
I was on table 2 and my matches were fairly one-sided by and large. Didn't have the drama. You had all the drama over here.
The Scotland-Australia game was just... I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. You know, we're talking not getting a finish with 1 second remaining to win the match. So it was going to a 6-red shootout. Incredible.
And it was some finish, though.
It was. It was ridiculous. I'm sure it'll be shown again before he said.
Well, I heard I went into the tournament office just as I was waiting for this match, and I could see the social media manager clipping up the that moment. So I think it'll be out somewhere.
Well, it has to be. Yeah. It was a story for me of the prelims. Heartbreak for the Aussies.
Commentary was pretty nice on it as well, Tony. You could hear the excitement in your voice.
Well, it's reactionary, is it? You know, I'm just looking at it and thinking, surely not, he's not going to get it. And he got the most ridiculous yellow up the rail. And I wasn't quite sure where he was going to play the back. And my co-commentator, Nick Finn, said, what do you think he'll do here? I said, just hit it. And I'm looking at the clock going down, and he's bought
in the middle of it. You said, what are you talking about, man? Oh, it's fantastic. As we're talking about that, Declan has flown through that finish, and he looks very sharp again. Yeah, that was brilliant, that match. And Tony, in all your days on Sky Sports, did you ever think you'd be commentating on anything like that?
No.
I mean, it's a very different game now.
The thing was with the Sky stuff back in the 90s and through the early 2000s, is it was recorded as live.
Yeah.
So it wasn't live. So of course, because I can tell you, because it like had a 2-hour show, and some of the matches, because of the old rules, I mean, there's a lot ended up on the cutting room floor, I can tell you.
But you, insight behind the curtain here, but you were commentating on the match all the way through.
Yeah.
You knew, you didn't know what they were going to edit in and what they were going to edit out.
No, that's true.
But you must have had an inkling in some of those frames that would have dragged on and thought, maybe this one's not going to see the light of day. Did you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of like, well, there was myself and Jim White, and we get to a stage in one frame and we just put the right. Don't bother, because this is no. But what they used to do sometimes, I mean, it depended on because if you've got a really sticky frame, let's say 2 frames from the end of some like a quarter-final of the World Championship, they'd start the frame off and they'd play a few shots, and they'd do the little thing on the visual, and he goes midway through frame so and so, and it's like 2 lift pot 2 balls or something like that. It's like.
So you did plenty of times. You just let it breathe out there.
You had to let it breathe, in fairness, but yeah, we're back there. It's brilliant. Yeah, it was just. I mean, it was great fun, but the game had to move on and move forward, especially with the rules. And now we've got what I consider, a finished product rules-wise. It's fantastic.
How much would have you enjoyed playing in this era of the rules? Forget about the match clocks and stuff like that, because it's very much Ultimate Pool specific. Just the World Championships in this rule set. It
would have been my dream. I think I'd have won more. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but my game would have been suited to this.
You wanted to play this style of game, didn't you? In an era where if you played this style of game, you were going to get punished for it.
Yeah, attack with complete wild abandon, and not worry about having to give away 2 visits to your opponent.
Yeah,
well, it's dreamland. Dreamland. I would have absolutely loved it. I'm sure all these players now appreciate what they're playing in. Nice little shot there from Jake McCartney, by the way, just to free the yellows up.
Yeah, and I don't know whether the WEPF and the countries that are part of the WEPF have ever really. I mean, I don't know what the feedback's been like, but for me, when I knew we were going to this rule set, and I've said this many times on air, I was against it originally, not because of the rule set, but because I was against change, as so many people are. But I was 100% wrong, and the minute you understood what this rule set was, you realised this was the future. I didn't think it would happen this quickly for the WEPF and all the nations and associations to follow suit, and I'm so pleased they have, because the game is in far stronger position because of that. Yeah,
well, you need everybody to get on board with it. And the thing is with the rule change, you've got to have tactics in every sport, but these are progressive tactics. The loss of turn shot. So there's still plenty of that. I mean, yes, there's a lot of crash, bang, wallop, attacking, pull, but it's just the game is richer for it now. Really is. As a spectacle and from a viewing point. You turn it on and it's going to be exciting. You don't know who's going to win. It's fast, furious. You don't want to turn on and effectively watch 2 blokes playing chess on a pool table. And that's what it really was.
Yeah, and oh, this is a great shot from Jake. This really is. I'll come back to my
incredible hit there. Brilliant shot.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be. I thought he was 2 straight. That was excellent. And he needed this. You just couldn't afford to fall another one behind. And simple 8 ball to half the deficit.
Jake's very good at finding a way when it's a bit sticky. You think, well, I don't think you can get here, there, or wherever. And we'll watch this again. I mean, look how accurate he was guiding that cue ball down there and the pace. Best shot of the match, that for me.
Yeah, that was very, very good, and he needed it. I'm with you. He is a great player at finding a way, and for me, I think I have to say, I think when he won on Sunday night, I don't think anyone was expecting it, having been away from the game for a little while. But obviously you can see he's been playing a lot of pool, but just not in as much in this version on these tables. Even when he's playing international 8-ball rules in Australia, it's very different tables, and well, although they are getting a lot more tables like these over there now, but I felt his patterns had improved. I felt he wasn't having to work as hard as he did when he won the title back in 2021. And it's amazing, really, that he hadn't looked close to winning again since 2021 until he went and broke through the door again. But I felt like he was a better player.
Yeah. For me, he's a great shot maker. But yes, you're right, his patterns and all that have improved. But he's one of these players, you look at him, if I was playing him, you think you might have him in trouble, and then he'll pull out something. He's got a great imagination. He can dream up a few ridiculous shots. Melling's probably, for me, the best one at pulling out some ridiculous shots you don't see. I mean, I don't see most of them, hopefully. But Melling can find just ridiculous cannons and spin on the cue ball. Yeah. But then you can turn around and say, well, because people say, yeah, but Cousins can't do that. But Cousins is never out of position.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People used to knock Steve Davis back in the day. So you go, oh, he's boring. Why is he boring? Well, he just pots them all. And he plays easy shots at them. Because he's absolutely pinpoint on every ball. And it's just,
I think that a lot gets... Like, so many people with Tom just say, oh, his break gives him great chances. I think they miss the subtlety of his quality to open up a frame in one shot. And he is one of the best at going and dealing with his problem on shot one. Some players will have a plan, they'll work it, they'll maybe leave it. He's just shot one, straight in. I mean, don't get me wrong, the break gives him a lot of good chances as well, but the level of the game is still incredible, and he would still be winning a huge number of tournaments. He'd still be the number one player, even if he had to play off my break, which I can tell you is not as powerful as Tom Cousins.
Whose is?
Well, that's true.
I noticed earlier today he changed back, was hitting the front ball again.
Yeah, he's been chopping and changing a little bit.
He went in off twice as well. Declan Brennan. The only little problem he's got here is that yellow on the left-hand side. Can't get in the middle. It's being guarded by a red ball. Won't go down the bottom left. He's looking over there, so we know his intention is to get the cue ball over to that left-hand side. Try and get on in the bottom right-hand corner. So he has a little glance at the clock. Don't worry, you've got plenty of time there. So this will be the ball into the middle now. He's going to screw the cue ball over. If you can get it just below the red ball that's over that middle bag, perfect, just to roll it in. Last ball will be into the right-hand centre, and you can see the black will go into the top right-hand corner. So that's his planned route.
Yeah, very, very nice. And very, very simple. It makes the game look clean and easy. The thing I liked about Declan, I've done a bit of filming with him a few months ago and talking patterns, which is one of my favourite subjects, and I really like the way he saw the game. He saw a lot of players talk about kind of finding those sort of lines where they get themselves in positions where it's dropping, stop shots, but he uses a lot of cushions. He always wants to kind of leave angles where he can use the cushion, because then he has options to control it. So if he leaves himself a shot where it's come on and off the cushion, or he's then got options all the time. And I really love the way he sees the game.
Well, it's been a nice, crisp, clinical finish. I'm presuming he's going to knock the black in. There'll be no curse of the commentator for me here. And it duly goes. So Declan Brennan slides into a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, looking good for the defending champion right now. It's looking good for Jordan Shepard as well. He's 4-1 up over Avtar Singh. Tom Cousins 3-0 up over Jasper Simmons. Govey Gill 2-1 over Greg Batten. Ronan McCarthy 3-1 up over Rab McCulloch, who could be having a very disappointing couple of hours, having just lost in the world singles. John McAllister 4-0 up over Wayne Gore. And Will Osborne 3-0 up over Zach Shepard now. Carl Sutton has pulled one back against Sean Sharkey. That one going along a little bit slower paced at 1-1. That is the last 16 lineup, and if you are new around here, you may not realise this is a completely open draw. It's the FA Cup of the pool world. Random draw after each round. We will be showing you a quarter-final match, our last match here of the afternoon session. We just don't know what it will be, because we don't know who will play who.
Uh-oh. Not good control there from Decky. Be disappointed with that break. Especially having made a yellow off it as well. He would have been at the table. Still a bit tricky though for Jake McCartney.
Yeah, anyone wondering if you weren't with us at the beginning of the match, why, excuse me, Jake McCartney is wearing some funky trainers out there. He's re-injured his ligaments, so he has been given special dispensation to wear trainers. Does look a little bit odd, but shouldn't cause any real issues. Keep an eye on the Women's Masters at the same time. We'll be showing you a semi-final. It's due to be the semi-final from the bottom half of the draw, which is Jane Mitchell and Colette Henriksen, Marion Jude and Chucky Preston. They are playing each other at the moment. 2-0 Jane Mitchell over Colette Henriksen. 3-0 Marion Jude over Chucky Preston. So time dependent on that match. But hopefully everything goes to plan. We will see that semi-final. The other semi-final is Harriet Haynes versus Emma Cunningham.
Well, bad miss there from Declan, but he's going to fluke the red down into the bottom corner. My word. We'll have another look at this. Rattled it in. Oh, my word. Look at that. think it's not really done him any favours. Still feel that yellows are a slight favourite in this frame.
Decky not happy, not the best of shots there. It's not a great chance for Jake, but Jake's not thrilled. He feels like maybe he's given him half a chance here. Not immediately obvious. Don't see too many frames like this in the top of the game these days, but they're so valuable.
Yeah, a bit of a scruffy one now, isn't it? The thing here, though, is if Decky wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck, because if he sits back, we know Jake will find a shot to play. So Decky's now been weighing up the odds. Is there any point in playing some sort of safety or containing shot? Well, there isn't, because Decky knows full well that if he does that and he loses the frame, he'll be kicking himself and not having a go himself. So you see him deposit that red. He's left an angle now. What he's going to do, his problem is he wants to kick into the red and the black and the yellow, but he's worried about if he goes full ball into this red, the black could go down onto the bottom row and the red could go behind the yellow. So this wants to be done quite softly. If you could just part them gently. That's nice and gentle.
He's listening to you, Tony.
Oh, he is, yeah. Well,
maybe you want to pop out there, Tony, and just tell him that he overhit the shot.
I'm on my way.
No, it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you play it your way, it has to be, you've got to get it absolutely perfect. He's decided that's not on, so he's gone for the extreme power to move him as far as possible. You have to say he's a little bit unlucky to going off. Another opportunity for Jake then. Still taking its time to unfold. Yeah, just a little bump just to get that 8 ball into a better position. Just had a look at the plant on the yellows, which looks awkward for me. Oh, he's got to go for the left-hand one, isn't he? He's not looking at the plant, he's looking at the line back off. He'd love to flick the red here. I thought he was going to get to the bottom cushion and play the plant, which wouldn't be any good at all. He got the wrong ball, he'll take it. If he was playing the red, may not have been enough room, but playing the yellow, there was always a danger that it wasn't going to open up. He's played it beautifully. 3-2. Drawn out frame goes the way of the Aussie. Said at the start of the match it's a race to 7. It's not, it's actually a race to 8. So ignore me, and the graphic is correct. So a long way to go yet, but early running has been really interesting. When they played in the final on Sunday last week, it was very much Declan Brennan that kept Jake McCartney in it at the start. Declan had chances in the first 4 or 5 frames and only took a couple of them, and then Jake started getting his chances and pulled away. Not saying it's exactly the same here, but it just has the very similar vibes. Jake broke really well in the final as well. He's broken really well here, but that yellow falling in at the end hurts him. Although I think he does have an opener on reds, and reds aren't bad. He does have an opener on reds for sure. You'd be happy with these reds, Tony?
Yeah, indeed. Yellows aren't so bad, but it's making the first one, obviously. So, yeah, tap in the middle, down the bottom of the table, get rid of that. Might have to deviate over to one of the ones in the middle now. Or maybe pop them both away and get rid of this one at the bottom. Would have liked to be on the one at the bottom now.
Already had a result in the last 16. Jordan Shepard continues his good run and good work here. As we see the Aussie squad, there is the team manager, Kira. That's Jake's partner as well. Jordan has completed victory 8 frames to 1 over Avtar Singh. Tom Cousins is 5-0 up. John McAllister 6-0 up. Big names are starting to make their run here.
Crikey, Jordan didn't waste any time, did he?
No, he doesn't, does he? Doesn't hang about.
John McAllister looking ominous there as well. He's already won a pro event this season.
2?
Oh yeah, he has, hasn't he? Yeah.
2. Yeah.
2.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the man named Tom Cousins, he would be Player of the Year right now. Tom winning 3. Declan winning 1, but 3 finals. Jake winning 1.
Just a bit bemused why he pulled that back, and I thought he could have played out, pushed that forward to get rid of the red into the middle next and have that one over the bag anyway. Just
yeah,
if I'm hypercritical.
Yeah, all the other games, I'll run through them in a minute. Let's see Jake round this one off. I'll run through the scores. Some big score lines and some games very tight. It's 3-3 here. It is very tight here on the TV table. Tom Cousins then, he is 5-0 up over Jasper Simmons. That one's currently being shown over on TikTok if you'd like to keep an eye on that one. Jordan Shepard already completed victory 8-1 over Avtar Singh. Covey Gill 2-1 ahead of Greg Batten. Rab McCulloch and Ronan McCarthy, it is 4-2 to Ronan. John McAllister 6-0 up over Wayne Gore. We know our score is 3-3. Will Osborne 3-2 up over Zach Shepard. A little bit of a comeback there from Zach. I think he lost the opening 3 frames. That's an all-Welsh encounter. And then the Ireland English battle at the bottom. Sean Sharkey is 2-3 down to the European champion Carl Sutton. Some big names in the draw. I think that if the matches go with form, and there's a long way to go in a lot of those matches, we've got some big names in the quarterfinals of the WEPF World Masters. We are playing to a conclusion today as well. We will see, I think around 6 o'clock, well, it will be at 6 o'clock unless the tournament goes very slowly, the semi-finals, and then we will have the women's final, men's final. 3 big matches for you tonight from 6 p.m. Really looking forward to that. the WEPF World Masters final last year was without a doubt my favourite match of the year. One of my favourite matches I've ever commentated on. Declan Brennan and Tom Cousins. It was absolutely magic.
Want that. You want to just flick into that red that's on the left hand side, I believe. I was having to ponder a new plan.
Feels very Chick McCartney here. Happy to reroute, happy to find a new plan, and so often gets out with it.
Extension call.
He's working very hard here. The cue ball just won't land on a nice angle for him. Digging deep. Wants a good angle on his last ball for the 8 ball. It's going to be the key here. Not sure he's guaranteed. He might. Yeah. Is he looking at red top right to try and guarantee it? Basically, you're not moving the cue ball very far. Still not on the 8 ball nicely. Still expect him to pot it, but the reason I expect him to pot it is he can really float this in. It's a tough shot, but it's one that he'll really fancy. And yeah, floats it in like it's hanging over the pocket. That is very good from Jake McCartney. Gets himself in front, and Declan Brennan's going to leave the arena. Try and reset here as Jake hits the halfway point. Well, Declan's out the arena. Let's update you on the women's quarterfinals. Jane Mitchell is taking on Colette Henriksen. They are 2-2. It was 2-0 to Jane. Colette, the former champion, is back to 2-2. Marion Jude, the world champion, is 3-2 in front of Chucky Preston. Chucky just making a little bit of a comeback there. Marion is 2 away from victory. And she'll be the favourite to come through that section of the draw, but very good players, especially Colette. Great record. Former world champion in her own right, and she's former world masters champion. There is Colette. You can see they're playing just to the side of the main arena. Colette 2-2 with Jane Mitchell, who knocked out one of the big favourites for the tournament in Amy Beecham 5-2 yesterday. And there is Jane. She's come just for the Masters as well. Impressive run so far. Long way to go. Marion Jude has just won. They're playing on the table next door, actually, and she has just won the frame to go 4-2 in front. So Marion Jude, and she's at the table there as well already in frame 7. So Marion Jude in with a chance to get herself into the semi-finals. As I mentioned before, the other semi-final will be Harriet Haynes versus Emma Cunningham. But we are, if everything goes to plan, we'll be focusing on the bottom half of the draw. We're waiting for the winners of those matches. A lot depends on the pace of this match and the pace of those matches. But if timings go remotely to plan, we will be seeing that semi-final next. As Jake comes to break off. And one of the big aspects of his game at the moment is how good his break has been. And it's another good one.
Just a reminder for the 2:15 session, the team event over 60s and under 18s. You need to make sure you've set your teams online. So you need to set your team orders online, please. So the over 60s, Wales B. In the under 18s,
Yellow balls in
Ireland
play.
A, Australia A and B, England B, Northern Ireland B, and Scotland B. You all need to set your orders, please.
Now, what if you can just get through this little gap to the yellow into the middle? You can. These balls are all there for Jake. That's okay. Wanted to get rid of this ball at the top. Looked like he sort of bulldozed his way through that little
just
gap.
Barged through. But this is primed for another one. This would make it 4 straight for Jake, and match has really turned on Declan here.
That's an overrun. Bit of a careless one there. When he could play one of those yellows, a big bag in that middle where that red is. He doesn't want to play one over the pocket. So if he drops one in over the pocket, it's likely to leave a slight angle on the yellow into the bottom left-hand corner. So I feel he's going to have to go into the middle. Not with this one over the bag. He's refusing it because of the awkward queuing. So has to get a move on. Played it well. Managed to get the right angle on the one at the bottom of the table. Bit of a risky shot there though. But now I understand it because you don't want to be bridging over that ball. Does not want to be low. See, I think he needs to play the, well, he does, the yellow that's at the top of the two parked together. That should do him. Screw back now. Very firm again though.
Yeah, he loves to punch him in and hit him with pace, doesn't he? Good news is he's got, well, a huge amount of real estate to play with here. There is nothing in the way, and he's got 90% of the left-hand side of the table to play on. Something needs to change here for Declan. How much back in your day did previous results, especially when it's recent previous results, kind of remain in your mind? Because Declan would have gone into that Pro Series final on last Sunday as the favourite. He would have expected to win. I mean, he always expects to win, but it didn't happen for him. He made some mistakes and allowed Jake to get away. Jake played really well, but here we are again, and he was 3-1, and all of a sudden he's trailing by a couple. It's very fresh and very similar.
Yeah, deja vu seems to be kicking in, I think. It can eat away in your head. You think, oh, is this guy my nemesis?
Yeah. You do get that as well. I mean, Tom Cousins' nemesis right now is Declan Brennan as well, so he knows it firsthand the other way around.
We're all very good when we was playing. I think all players are still the same, feeling that we're all hard done by.
Yeah.
We've done nothing wrong to deserve all this.
Yeah.
Why am I getting picked on? And that tends to eat you. When am I ever going to get any luck? Because when you do have luck, you dismiss it and forget about it. Because you think you deserve that bit of luck anyway.
It's why I try to swerve all pool players for about at least an hour after they've played.
Yeah, they all talk complete and utter gibberish. Nonsense.
And some of them know it as well, and they'll happily admit it. They'll say, just give me an hour and I'll be back to normal.
Well, that's just what Declan Brennan needed, was a break like that.
Yeah.
Pot 3 reds, but yellows look like the favourite, I think, that he'll choose.
Agreed. There is a case for reds here, though, but he is going to take yellows, and that is so often the case. There's actually a route out on reds, but why worry about it? The yellows are so good. These players watching on, trying to see what they can learn.
There's Matthew O'Hara in the background then from the Irish team.
Still only the one result in the last 16. It's going quite slowly on the outside tables, and quite a few matches very, very tight and tetchy out there for sure. Tom Cousins was 6-0 up what feels like half an hour ago. It's only 6-1. John McAllister has edged himself to the brink at 7-1. But only Jordan Shepard over the line so far. Only Jordan Shepard's name in the hat for the random draw.
I'm suggesting that noise could be in the ladies' match.
Yeah, just trying to work out.
One
There are some team games going on out there as well. The different sections we have, unders and overs.
It sounded like it was the French being quite vocal, supporting somebody out there. And there's just 2 ladies playing out there from France.
They're both winning. Colette Henriksen 3-2 up over Jane Mitchell. Marion Jude 4-3 up over Chucky Preston.
So that's what I'm going to put my money on. Yeah, that'll do Declan. Pop this yellow in over the bag, screw the cue ball across a bit, and it'll stop the rot.
Just what the doctor ordered. Gets one back, 5-4. Still trails by the odd frame. Just looking around the arena at what's going on, and I can tell you there's still a match going on from the men's singles that started 2 hours ago. Currently 7-6 Robert Brady over Gary Southern. That's a long drawn-out match. We did have one match go nearly 3 hours a couple of days ago, which is really hard to do in this rule set. It really is. That's still happening.
Robert Brady, my old teammate there, battling away.
Did you teach him the 2-hour match trick? Did you slow it down?
I don't think I was ever out there for 2 hours. It
Not
was
for one match.
No, it was win or lose in pretty rapid fashion.
There's also the Masters Plate happening as well. We've got a couple of team games from the juniors. Messi.
Stop price, please. If you're available.
Attention called.
in a drawn-out tactical frame, but looking forward to what we got coming up later on today. Women's semi-final follows us here, and then we will have a men's quarter-final. This is all from the Masters. We've got either Jane Mitchell or Colette Hendrickson versus either Marion Jude or Chucky Preston to come. They are currently locked in tight battles. Marion Jude still leading 4-3. Colette Hendrickson leading 3-2 from 2-0 down as well. Other side of the draw, Harriet Haynes. He will play Emma Cunningham in the semi-final. Good lineup, whatever happens in the bottom half of the draw. Declan, that's not a good sign for him. In an ideal world for Jake here, he'd rather leave the red top right as his connection to the 8 ball, but I don't think he can do that easily. So he's going to think about what he wants to do. If you left the red bottom left, Tony, would you be comfortable enough to play the 8 ball top right?
Yep.
Which could work just as well.
Got to be behind it, but yeah. I think at this point of any match, you just set for any chance at the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You know, he's just relieved to be back at the table.
And he's already shown, I mean, he's shown on repeat for the last 4 years that he's so good at making those sorts of shots. You give him a shot at something and he's very good at it.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that bit of a turkey twizzler miss that Declan Brennan had.
Oh, this is no good. This is no good. I think he's gone too far to the left-hand side. As we look, although he's getting down quick, so is he? No, he's got to be covered here.
Well, Declan Brennan might get back to the table after all of that. Bit tense out there, do you reckon, Simon?
It's that key point of the match, isn't it? We're edging closer and closer to victory for one of these two players.
The next match is the 4th, Australia A and B and Scotland B, please.
what a chance now for Declan. And what makes this so good for Declan is it's also punishing errors for Jake. Jake could have separated here. He didn't get this sort of encouragement in the Pro Series final. Eight ball then for parity.
You wouldn't expect Brennan to miss this now. That is there.
Heart of the pocket. Declan Brennan gets us back all square. A race to 3 from here. Update in the women's quarter final. Marion Jude has been pegged back. Chucky Preston's won the last couple of frames and they're in a decider. Marion Jude has had to work very hard at times in the tournament. 5-4 earlier on against Michelle Raber. Did manage a comfortable win in the last round against Sharon James, but back under pressure here, the world champion. No movement in the other game. Still 3-2 to Glet Henriksen over Jane Mitchell. We will see the winners of those matches next up here on the TV table.
Frame 11. Declan Brennan to break. 5 frames all.
Oh dear, dry break from Brennan. We'll have another look as the Aussie vacates his seat, ready to take centre stage. That is a lovely layout. Reds is a straight plant as well, those two at the top.
Red ball's in play.
Just when Decky pulled back level again, you can see another one sailing away. Falling 6-5 down possibly. Do they wait for the entire round to complete before they do the next draw, Simon, or do they wait till, say, the majority of matches are finished?
Well, they want to wait for every single match to be finished, but obviously sometimes we can't do that, depending if one match goes long. And we
So they do the draw with so-and-so playing the winner of...
Yeah, they'll do an either or if they have to.
Said match.
Generally speaking, they want to wait till everybody has played.
Great control there from McCartney.
Don't know how. I suspect they'll wait because most matches are getting there. We've had 3 matches completed. We know that Tom Cousins has won, John Shepard has won, and John McAllister has won. The other 5 are all in the balance. This one the tightest. Carl Sutton 6-3 up over Sean Sharkey. Zach Shepard is 5-4 up over Will Osborne. Rhoda McCarthy 5-3 up over Rad McCulloch, and Greg Batten 4-2 over Govey Gill. So that Govey and Greg match might go on a while, and they may not wait for that one to finish. But it's up to the tournament directors. They're in charge. They hold the ship nice and steady for us. A couple of really good positional shots there from Jake McCartney to get himself in prime position. And routine 8-ball to come for a very clean finish from Jake McCartney.
I thought he ran a little bit of a risk there.
Very good from the Aussie. He's back in front. Declan's going to leave the arena once again. Well, Declan is away from the arena, gives us an opportunity just to check in on the Women's Masters. Colette Hendrickson has got herself to the hill. She's 4-2 in front now of Jane Mitchell. Still waiting on the outcome of Marion Jude and Chucky Preston. They are locked in a deciding frame battle. It would be a huge victory for Chucky from Northern Ireland to knock out the world champion. That's a bad one from Jake McCartney. Straight in off. He has been breaking really well. This is not one of them, though. Hear the noise around the arena. Big shouts previously, just as the balls are being racked up there. Can be a big distraction for players if they allow it to be a distraction. But I don't know about you, Tony. When I used to play, I didn't really seem to notice anything else going on around.
Not really. I was the same. You're concentrating on your game. You know, you're at the table. It would have to be something really crazy to happen for me to. I do remember I was playing in the World semi-final against Terry Hunt, and I don't know. It always sticks in my mind. I just got down. I was like 3 balls from finish. Match is really tight. I think it was like 7-all. Went to play a shot, and something fell from a ceiling in the background, and because there's a lot of hush on the place, this huge clank, and I was just about to play my shot, and I managed to stop myself and call a timeout for a second. I'm like, is it and if you ever watch it now, you can actually, they always show that throw because I think it was a dish anyway. But it's like my surprise and start. But yeah, that's what's going on around. There's too much going on around.
It reminds me of I've worked on the World Senior Snooker for a few years, and they follow the World Championships, and the confetti guns they have these days that come from the arena, and during like a week later, it's still falling from the ceiling every now and then in the middle of players' shots. Declan Brennan has run aground. Been a tough one this for Declan. He's never really got into full flow. He can really reel them off, but not been allowed to. And I can tell you, we have our first semi-finalist in the match following this one. Marion Jude has got over the line in a deciding frame over Northern Ireland's Chucky Preston.
Tight.
Still no result in the other one. Colette Hendrickson still 4-2 in front of Jane Mitchell, but They will be straight on once this one has finished. We've had a few frames like this where it's got very mixy out there, very awkward.
It's been more of a war of attrition, you feel, in the last few frames. There's been a couple of slips here and there. It's got everything that you feel that's going to go to the complete and absolute wire in this match. But Jane McCartney would love to get this frame, get on the hill, get two in front. It gives him a nice cushion. Go back to what you said, Simon. It's that was a great win for Marion Jude. Bit of a sticky one there, 5-4.
Yeah, another one. She's been for a couple of deciders.
Very strong character, you know, for such a young lady. Fantastic, fantastic talent.
Really is. She's got so much potential. I mean, she's still very young to really. You know, I mean, she's already a two-time world champion. She's won in both codes of the game. You know, she's the current world champion in WEPF terms. And for me, you know, her best game is right up there, if not the best. And she hasn't quite found the consistency on Ultimate Pool yet, but she's still won 2 titles. I think her future is very bright. We'll see where she is in a few years' time, but she may want to won a bunch of everything. I think that much of her game.
Super shot there from McCartney. If he's on this plant. Looking at that, I don't think he is, you know. So this could be a little safety here. Leave the cue ball stuck behind the red and try and develop the 2 balls near the black.
He's not happy, is he?
No. Can't afford to leave anything stuck out here because Brennan will gobble it up. Well, for me, he's only left 1 shot for Declan. That's to try and kick that yellow from the side cushion. I think he can get through to see it cleanly. He'd have liked to have done more with those reds though, because Declan doesn't have to pot this. If you get the cue ball down the table, I'll be trying to hit this slightly on the righter side of this yellow. Get the cue ball down the bottom of the table and ask a question of Jake McCartney. Well, that's what he tried to do, and he's missed it completely. That was always the danger because of the slide, and he was trying to be too precise there. He was trying to get the cue ball right on the bottom of the table. Now then, McCartney will what he wants to do is just put the cue ball in between those 2 reds. Well, I don't know what he's looking at there. Can he get... but he can get through. On that overhead, it looked like he could get through because he wants to slide that red down the rail and just kick the other one next to the black out into the open. Where he's putting it on up... So that's perfect. When you look on the overhead, it looks like he's put it behind the red.
I'm with you. But this shot still needs to be played well. And I don't think that's it at all.
That's way too weak.
Poor shot.
You could afford to play that a hell of a lot firmer because the cue ball's still going to stay there even if you hit that hard. But the red would come out. That was way too gentle there from the Australian. And he hasn't got an angle, I don't think, either to pot that red and screw and kick it out the next shot. So I think we could be seeing another safety. But then I don't like the safety. Not when you're leaving the red behind that black. Is he pondering taking this on in the middle? How tight is that?
Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Surely.
I'd be tempted. I must admit.
Surely you've got to just pull back and play safe behind the 8 ball here.
I wouldn't be screwing it, I think, but
Yeah, it's just the safety.
yeah.
Yeah.
Clever shot.
Beginning of this match, I really thought it was going to fly along, and I thought we'd be done by now, in all honesty. I thought the way these two players normally go, but the balls dictate sometimes, and obviously with it being 45 seconds a shot and no match clock, it just slows everything down a little bit, and it sort of builds more tension in a way. I love the match clock, I really do, but I love having the variety. I think this tournament is so unique in the calendar. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's certainly been a bit of a war of attrition.
We have a result. We now know our next match here on the TV table. Colette Hendrickson has beaten Jane Mitchell 5 frames to 2. So it is going to be an all-French affair on the semi-finals. The world champion against the former world champion and world master, Colette Hendrickson. That is the semi-final we will be bringing to you from the Women's Masters. Harriet Haynes and Emma Cunningham are going to be battling it out on one of the outside arena tables as well. We won't get to see that one, but a good matchup all the same. And Jake McCartney's going to get himself one away here.
On the hill we go for the Aussie.
Yeah, on the hill. He is one away. See how things are going the rest of the tournament. Good result at the bottom of the draw, although I say draw, it is a open draw, so it'll be randomly drawn after this match. But Carl Sutton has beaten Sean Sharkey 8-3. Will Osborne and Zach Shepard 5-5. John McAllister has won 8-1 over Will Gore. Rona McCarthy on the brink as well, 7-3 up over Rab McCulloch. Greg Batten 5-3 over Govey Gill, and we already knew that Jordan Shepard has beaten Avatar Singh 8-1, and Tom Cousins has beaten Jasper Simmons 8-1. Some big names making it through. Tom Cousins has got 3 titles this year. Jordan Shepard is one of the greats around at the moment, so entertaining. John McAllister 2 titles this year with Ultimate Pool. Carl Sutton's the European champion, and that's just from the 4 players to make it through. Whoever comes through from this match is another player that's been in great form this year. It is just a stacked lineup here at the WEPF World Masters.
Yellow ball's in play.
This could be it. Jake McCartney in prime position to do it again to Declan Brennan. Defeated him in Pro 6 final to take the title. And he could be knocking out the defending champion here, although the fact he's not getting down quickly tells me he's a touch too thin on this. Just to drop it in and hold. Is there hope for the champion?
Well, he doesn't have to have the yellow in the middle. He can take it this bottom right-hand corner. He's played it firm and come back. He's the wrong side of it. I don't know why he didn't just come back and play it into the bottom corner, because you just roll straight through. So he's either going to have to belt this or just screw back and try and play the last yellow into the bottom right. He's chosen the latter. Well, this is the huge shot now for Jake McCartney. It's in.
Yeah, great shot. And Declan Brennan now knows the defence of his title will be over as Jake McCartney beats him again. It's deja vu, a week on from winning the Pro 6 title over Declan Brennan. Jake McCartney beats him again in the same arena to get himself into the quarter-finals of the WEPF World Masters. The draw for the Masters will be coming up shortly outside of our stream. We'll update you with the lineup as soon as we can give it to you. We're still going to wait for a few matches to finish. There is still 3 more games in action. Greg Batten and Govey Gill 6-3. Ronan McCarthy and Brad McCulloch 7-3 to Ronan. And Will Osborne 6-5 up over Zach Shepard. But Carl Sutton, Jake McCartney, John McAllister, Jordan Shepard and Tom Cousins are safely through. The draw could be huge. Time for us to move on. We are going to be turning our attention to the Ladies Masters. Also hoping to get a few words with Jake McCartney. Stay with us. Join us after the break.